So recently I actually watched Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F for the first time, as I was actually waiting for myself to wait for the official release of it to come out over here on Blu-ray and also as well in the cinemas as well. And I've got to say, after watching that and after people saw my how I reacted to the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super and noticed that I'm not actually reviewing it anymore, but I had to let people know exactly just how disgusting that stuff was going on from like Toei, is I did a little bit of reading, and honestly as well, this whole video, not only is it going to be my thoughts on the actual movie itself and like why, as you can see in the title as well, I think Dragon Ball Super for the most part is a failure for what it has produced so far. Don't get that twisted right there, because I generally think Universe 6, in my way, I think it's going to look better than what this is going to be, and also as well, I have a lot of expectations for that, but then I have my concerns for it as well. Firstly, I'd like to say for what I watched of the movie, I also been informed by my friends as well pretty much what I have missed in the Super Series. I do know that Sagoma had more of an important role in anime, like just pretty much one-off in like the movie. Also as well, Ginyu came back, which I eventually ended up going to see, and I was like, okay, Ginyu. I was a little bit happy to see Ginyu come back, but I was like, I really wish like he would have done something a little bit more like in the movie, to be fair. Like, and also as well, Tagoma as well, I thought was a little bit disappointed. Not to mention as well from the fact of what I've seen as well, like when they started mentioning King Cold, I was like, oh, that would have been a cool thing to be, or make Cooler canon. Like, some of that stuff I feel like would have been interesting, and I think obviously they couldn't do anything with Cooler because of where he actually takes place in the timeline and stuff like that, so I believe like Cooler couldn't come in there, but it would have been interesting, or this would have been the first time you see it. Like, imagine if like all three of the Frieza, you had Golden Frieza, you had Cooler in his nice sick ass fucking armor, you had like King Cold who finally learned how to do like transform into the final form, like, and both the brothers are more powerful than it's like that would have been interesting. But like honestly, like, it was kind of interesting, like, with Golden Frieza, like, it was just training, and the matter of fact that the reason why they won is because he was burning out his powers so quickly, because he, like, the second that he learned to do this Golden Frieza transformation is that he's just like, oh, I'm going to charge straight in. I believe it was like 4 months that he trained in for the whole fight against Goku. I thought, okay, that's pretty kind of cool, but that was the reason why I lost, and I was like, the time travel thing, and I still believe that it should have been Vegeta, like, he should have had a more prominent part of the movie, honestly, and just not to mention as well, like, comparing it to Battle of Gods, honestly, like, I loved Battle of Gods a lot. Maybe I feel like people would feel a little bit different about this movie if this was the first one to come out, then Battle of Gods, I don't know. I think that's a lot of the fact that Battle of Gods was like the newest Dragon Ball content we've had in years, and the newest like original content, and it was amazing. But then you had this like kind of like a year or two afterwards, you know, like people are a bit So I feel like I'm still in that same boat. I enjoyed the movie, it had some issues, like, but honestly I still think Battle of Gods is a better movie. And I really enjoyed what I got out of it. Honestly, I adored that all the Z fighters got some time. Like, Roshi going in like that. I absolutely loved that. Like, Roshi's going in. Krillin. You got, like, Gohan was probably the most disappointment. It's like, I guess I can still do Super Saiyan. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, it should be, honestly, I feel like after this, and from what the Super chapters and all that shown, is that he's not going to do this. It's like, you know, after this time and all that, and even after Beerus and all that, do you think, like, I should train for my family? I know you've got to train, you know, also as well, you know, make a living for your family, but you've got Bulma on there, and I feel like Bulma could be that excuse saying, like, okay, listen, I'm willing to pay for your family. I know you want to have a normal family and don't want to be, you know, that's kind of like how they're taught in Everton, you know, just kind of like beg off someone and saying like, oh, we need help. Even if Bulma just did say, oh, no, I'm doing this, here's your money, and all that, I need you to train, you need to go protect your wife, your kid. Same thing with Goku as well, like, you need to do this for your family, and Goku does that. And people call out Goku being a bad father, but he's the savior of the Earth and pretty much the whole galaxy. He stopped Frieza, he stopped, like, Cell, well, that was mainly Gohan, but he was one of the people that ended up stopping Cell. Like, he saved everyone at the end and, you know, got himself killed. Like, Goku's a hero in, like, every way you'd, like, see it. And it's just like, if he had to sacrifice a little bit of family time, I understand that, but still, you know, it's the same thing with Gohan, and that's honestly where I'm coming from that. Now, with the whole thing with the Super thing, it's not just honestly the animation where a lot of people are going to come out with the art and animation that's really off, and people are saying like, well, if you like I remember one of the key things, well, if you stop any kind of episode, not like inside keyframe, you'll find a little bit of bad animation everywhere. Whilst that is true with a lot of series and all that, there's a difference that when you can notice multiple of it during a single episode and seeing how stiff it is compared to it. And also as well, a little truth. Did you know that about like Toei anime? I know a lot of old Dragon Ball fans may not know this, but people that did a little bit inside work. Did you even know that Toei didn't even do most of the episodes or even the good episodes of Dragon Ball? A lot of the episodes, and this is not common in a lot of like animes as well, that, you know, they're giving them to other studios saying, okay, you're going to handle this episode, we're going to do this. And funny enough, the ones that you see from a lot of the key guys from Toei look a lot like ass from the original Dragon Ball, from the original from GT, from even Dragon Ball, because like Dragon Ball looked a little bit pudgy, like little characters. That's kind of the art style that was going for. That's more Toriyama's art style, so that was a little bit more fun. And plus, I can't comment too much. I've only seen a bit of Dragon Ball, so I'm not even going to get into that part. But I've seen pictures and all that, and there are some where it's absolutely amazing. Like some of the guys are responsible for doing Kaioken, some of the guys are responsible for doing like Super Saiyan 4, like even the Super Saiyan 3 transformation. You know, Goku vs. Free. And it was like, I believe it was like episode 120 to 121 where they were showing like kind of the bad kind of little animation parts, like where one episode looked amazing and the next one has looked bad, and guess who was responsible for it? It was mainly like Toei or some other off like studio. And when you look at Super, it's like they're just doing the same thing, and it's like when you've got such a big budgeted thing like Toei, where they've got One Piece, they've got World Trigger, which I believe is now ending as well, and they got that, and then also as well, you know, got side people that are working on Sailor Moon. They don't have anything to do now with the whole Saint Seiya stuff. It's like, you should be putting your money into this, in your best anime. I know it's like when you just got off a movie, you gotta do that, you gotta send people off there, but when you have actual people aside like studios to do that, then don't make excuses then. It's like, that's just a simple fact of it. It's like, it's not just Toei who's at fault here, it's a bunch of other studios. It's like, if they're incomparable, if they can't do it, and you've seen that multiple times, and honestly, I said it like straight out, a lot of people saying people should have got fired, like from that, like, if that was me, if I was the head editor, I can't draw, so I mean, that, if I did that, that looked 10 times worse than that, trust me. Like, if that was me, and that was my job, I'd fucking hang up the pen. I know I'd want to keep the job and all that, but it's like, you just can't give that people kind of quality. And the excuse is like, it'll be fixed up on the like on the Blu-rays and DVDs. You'll, what? I have to, like, you know, that's the simple things. Like the TV programs, like, okay, I understand that, but it's like, you know, I shouldn't have to, like, the one reason I shouldn't have to pay for like DVDs, like, oh, I just want it so it looks better. Like, I want it because I'm excited for it, and I am. And some of those episodes are super great. I really do enjoy them. Like, like I enjoy the comedy episodes. I think it's there. But I think for the most part, and I think a lot of people have seen it in the community and all that, I don't know how a lot of the, you know, big tards of Dragon Ball see this, but I think pretty much Dragon Ball Super has failed in that way. Like, it's not doing, like, especially, like, we've seen the feedback from it, and even I've seen a couple of Japanese people calling it out and saying, like, the other stuff, like the pre-Cure stuff looks better than that, and that's being done by a separate studio as well. But it's like, if that's honestly the case, then hire more people, like, to do that. I know that's a lot, but it's like, this is a big thing that can make a lot of money for both, in, you know, in like America. Like, that's kind of the way the key audience, I feel like a lot of that money is going to be made. We see from like how many times Funimation's, like, you know, had made tons of deals with like Dragon Ball, and it's like made so much of it, and I feel like that's kind of the best thing. You want to appeal it to not just your own audience, you want to appeal it to, you know, an American audience, to European, like US, like you want to do that. I feel like near kind of any kind of like series that you can think of, and especially Dragon Ball and how successful and big it is. But don't kind of go into that sort of like thinking like, oh, it's Dragon Ball, it's fine, whatever we'll put out, they'll just eat it up. And in a way, we are eating it up. But then again, you get this kind of feedback, and you get like people snapping at and saying, no, this is wrong, don't do it like this. It's just simple fact. Like, you see other studios have multiple, like look at like Fairy Tail. Like, I know a lot of people go roll their eyes when they see that. It's like, oh, Fairy Tail, the story, you know. Like, regardless of the story, how many episodes like is Fairy Tail like on? I think it's like 100 odd now, or season 2. Like come on, we're 26 episodes into this series. Even other series I've seen, like, from being handled by a bunch of people, like, you know, I'm not just saying, oh, give it to Madhouse. Like, I've seen other people, you know, with A1, you know, Whitefire, like, Akame started to lose a lot of this, like, you know, animation quality, like, around about in the 20s and stuff like that, and it didn't look any as bad as, like, Super. It doesn't mean that it can have some great moments and all that into it, but it's like, still, like, even if with like the CGI that was added in Resurrection F, which I didn't like that they did anyway, and it was weird how they put that in the Golden Frieza part, even though the normal Goku and normal Frieza fighting was just normal. It's like, I don't know, like, if I'd rather have that CGI or that, like, have really shitty things, like, if you've looked at that picture, or, like, just Goku and Frieza look like they're taking a little jolly stroll through the street. I think the simple matter of the fact is that I think it has failed, to be fair, and I am looking forward to this, honestly. I feel like this was a last-minute thing that they got asked of saying, like, oh, yeah, we want to do a new Dragon Ball material, and I bet some higher-up said, well, we're probably going to gun for 50 to 100 episodes, and I believe it was confirmed that it was 100 episodes. That, like, saying, well, the material you've got here is, like, I don't know, 26 episodes, 28, depending if we want to stretch it or not. You're gonna have to do some other stuff, and they had to think last minute, saying, we can just do the movies. We can just do the movies again, like, you know, easy like that. And it's like, okay, we're ready for that, and then, you know, we'll do the rest of the episodes. And I just fear, if it is going to be 100 episodes with like 26 episodes, so we've got 74 more episodes, I fear for the case of that, you know, they could be putting their effort really into that, or that could go like really terribly wrong with 74 episodes of that going on. I don't know. I'm terrified for Dragon Ball Super in 2016 for that case, but then I have a lot of hope and a lot of excitement from what we've seen already from the Super manga, so I am looking forward to that and seeing what's going to happen. But I think, honestly, they just need to add some more key animators. I think they need to add a lot more people into the staff than they have. Maybe this might be a little bit better when World Trigger ends. Maybe those people will be like let off and like kind of go back there, say, okay, be focusing on there, you know, bam, bam, bam. And I know a lot of them are kind of pushing their kind of hard work onto One Piece at the moment, because One Piece, you know, Gear Force is happening, so that's going to look amazing. And that's pretty much simple it is. Like, that's honestly how I feel about it. And just don't get me wrong, I love Dragon Ball. I absolutely adore it. Like, I really think I am a big fan of it. And honestly, Battle of Gods, people seen me, I talked about that, and I was like, I love Battle of Gods. I thought Resurrection F was a great movie. Like, it isn't as great as Battle of Gods in my personal opinion. But I was really hyped to see, you know, go. It was the first time I saw, like, English dub Dragon Ball Z in a while, because I'm so used to hearing Japanese, and I don't really have a lot of time to listen to English dubs now these days, since I have to watch a lot of stuff that comes out straight out, and it's, you know, the kind of the curse of a reviewer. So it was great, honestly, to see my childhood again. So I adored that. So honestly, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think Dragon Ball Super has failed? Like, do you think the anime has failed itself, and do you think it's only going to go down from here, or do you think it's going to go up? Honestly, I think it can go either way, but kind of putting the facts out there from what I've seen so far, which might as well not all be true and all that, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt, mind you. I think, you know, it's like, I think it's 70% certain that we're not going to have that great of an adventure, but I think the story, for the most part, will hopefully be good. I have trust in, like, the story itself, so that's it. But I just don't trust animation and the art for, like, all that, and I think it's going to look really bad around about the ends of it. So we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, I could be talking out my ass right now, so, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me, so thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.